What's up, guys? It is Brandon from Two Piece Man Talks Chelsea, and yes, there's more news regarding Chelsea Football Club, man. I don't. Oh. And guess who it's about? Enzo Fernandez, ladies and gentlemen. Enzo Fernandez. This club just goes from bad to worse some days, man. Like, if there's any news about my team, it's just about Chelsea Football Club. It's always just bad. It's just getting worse. It feels like we're in a relegation zone, but we're not. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what it feels like. But it's just one of those ones. It literally just feels like we're Tottenham, but we're not. So let me just get down to it. So basically, remember that video I made regarding Enzo Fernandez saying that he'd like to live in Madrid? Well, based off that, Liam Rossini has obviously seen that, and he's not taking any of it, basically. He's saying that Enzo Fernandez crossed the line, which he did, which I agree with, in my opinion. The reason why I agree with that is because if you're at a club, right, let's say what? I want to go to Villa. Let's just say, I don't know. Birmingham is nice or whatever. I'd like to live there one day, but I play for Chelsea Football Club. You're hinting that you either want to play for Villa or Birmingham City. You can't say that when there's 7 games left of the season and it's not even over yet. The season's not over yet. There's a chance for us to get Champions League. Before you even said any of that, by the way, you said, I don't know if we'll get champion. He says, I don't know if I'll be at Chelsea next season. We still have to play for Champions League. We still have to try and get Champions League. We still have to go for the FA Cup as well. So you said prior to that, and you also said you don't know if you'll be at Chelsea Football Club next season. Then you go and then you say, I'd like to live in Madrid one day. And then you say, I'd like to live in River Plate one day. So you're basically twerking for 2 clubs, essentially. That's what you've basically said. And this is why you're getting banned for it. And that's why I agree with it. Because you can't just say that, bro. You can't just say, oh, I'd like to live in Madrid one day. You're basically saying that you want to leave Chelsea at some point. At some point, you're going to leave Chelsea. You're saying that your long-term plans are not with Chelsea. You've got 6 years left on your contract, and you're saying your long-term plans are not with Chelsea. So what's that basically saying? That's basically saying that you're not committing yourself to Chelsea Football Club, essentially. I mean, there's 7 games left. So that's obviously going to have a knock-on effect on the players as well. I didn't even get into that. That has a knock-on effect on the players as well, because they'll be thinking, well, if he's saying that, then, why should I stick at Chelsea? Bro, you've even got Mark Cucurella saying that he'd be tempted if Barcelona made a bid for him. And that's probably based on the stuff that Enzo Fernandez has been saying as well. Like, bro, you can't be saying that. So I agree. I'm happy that he's gonna miss 2 games. Obviously, I'm not happy. Obviously, because he's a quality player. But just for what he said, he can't say that, bro. You need to understand that there's some things as a footballer you can and cannot say. Same as a manager, same as a board of directors. There's just certain things that you cannot say. In any style of work or profession that you're in, there are certain things and certain phrases you cannot say. You have to always protect the club. So, Enzo Fernandez's agent, Javier Pastor, has been saying a lot. Let's get into what he's been saying. Yeah, just bear with me on this one, lads. A lot has been said. He said a lot. We'll just start with this one. So he said this is Enzo Fernandez's agent, Javier Pastor, if I pronounce that right. Our plan after the World Cup is to meet with Chelsea again, and if there's no agreement over new deal, to explore other options. A new deal. Listen, right? If we don't get Champions League or even win a domestic trophy, do you honestly think you're going to want a new deal with Chelsea? Realistically. Like, it's not going to happen. If we make Champions League and potentially win a trophy, or let's just say we make Champions League, then I hear it. When he's saying if there's no agreement over new deal, right? Basically saying he wants more money. They're going to explore options. They're going to explore other options. That basically says for me, mate, listen, Chelsea fans, if we don't get top 4 or Champions League, nothing like that, or even win an FA Cup, listen, he's going. That's basically what he's saying. In a nutshell, that's basically what he's saying. He's also said this as well. This guy has been talking a lot. Given what Enzo is capable of today, he deserves much more than he's currently earning. Much more than he's currently earning. Okay, let's look at the stats. So for this one, we're going to look at Enzo Fernandez's ratings throughout the Premier League and the matches he's basically played in throughout the Premier League. So, the new season stops in what? Our first game was against Palace. So, okay, so let's have a look at it. Our first game was against Crystal Palace. So against Crystal Palace, he got a 6.7. We look at that. Next game, Fulham. No, wait, I wasn't actually Fulham. Hold on. Hold on, lads. Hold on. So I got a bit muddled up there. So, first game was Palace, 6.7. West Ham got 7.6. Fulham got 8.5. That's basically his best match out of that whole. Out of August, September, October, November, his best match was against Fulham. 6.9 against Brentford. 6.2 against United. 7.7 against Brighton. 7.3, 7.4, 7.2, 7.8 against basically these teams. That's all right. It's all right. It's not brilliant. It's not for me to look at it and be like, that's an extension, on his contract. Put more notes on his contract. And then from January to, from November to January, he's played brilliant against Burnley. Remember, it's bottom of the table Burnley. Shocker against Arsenal. Woeful against Leeds. Nothing against Brentford. All right against Everton. Nothing against Newcastle. Nothing against Villa. Played pretty decent against Bournemouth. Got the equaliser against City. Did nothing against Fulham. All right? Let's go further on into that. Did well against Brentford. Well against average, all right against Palace. Did well against West Ham. Did all right against Wolves. Did all right against Leeds. Woeful against Burnley. Woeful against Arsenal. Did okay. Did all right for Villa. Got an assist. Was okay for Newcastle. Wasn't great. Was woeful against Everton. So now, you're telling me, based on the performances and the ratings that he's had over the course of the Premier League, you're telling me that he deserves more than what he's currently earning? Are you serious? Bro, let me check this out. Lads, we got Enzo Fernandez here. I'm sorry, bro. He has played 30 matches, right? He has 8 goals and 3 assists. He gets an average of 7.29. And you believe just based off that, right? He should deserve more than what he's earning. I'm sorry. Everyone has played rubbish for Chelsea this season. And you're telling me out of all the players, he deserves an increase. For me, João Pedro deserves an increase. For me, Esteval deserves an increase. They're probably the players that kind of deserve the increase more, if anything. Reece James deserves an increase. Reece James deserves it. But you're saying that Enzo Fernandez should be on more money than what he's worth. Let's see what else he said. Hold on. So we've covered that. We've covered the rubbish in that. Let me go on my bookmarks. Hold on. We'll get onto that later. Apparently he should be on more. Then he said, we could not reach an agreement. We could not reach an agreement over new deal with Chelsea, as Enzo's contract still has 6 years to run. We decided not to renew it because the terms weren't right for us or for the player. The terms weren't right for you or the player. What terms weren't right for you? What is actually going on? What terms weren't right for you, bro? That's what I want to know. So you're telling me 7 games before the season ends, before we even think about like we're gonna get Champions League. Was this before the PSG game? Was this before even the couple of FA Cup games that you guys talked about a new deal with Enzo Fernandez? And then you decided not to renew it because the terms weren't right for you or the player. Interesting. I want to know what terms they were. Right, let's move on to this one. At no point did he show a lack of respect towards the club. Brother, you said that you'd like to live in Madrid. You said you'd like to live in Madrid one day. How are you going to live in Madrid one day? By going to Real Madrid. Then you said one day you'd like to play for River Plate. You'd like to go back and play for River Plate. You're basically saying right now, one day I'm going to leave Chelsea and play for Real Madrid and retire at River Plate. That's basically what you're saying. So when you're trying to say that at no point did he show a lack of respect towards the club, that is complete disrespect in my opinion. That is complete disrespect. That's like working in the branch you're working now and say, oh, I'd like to work for that branch one day, and you tell the boss that. And then the boss is going to be like, well, so what, do you want to leave then? The boss would be like, if you want to leave, you can go then. Because, then they're going to think, how long are you going to be here for? How long do you want to be here for? And then they'll be thinking, why? Why would you say that? What plans have you got? Why are you not committed to our branch or the company or the club or the organisation? That is pure disrespect. So when you're trying to tell me at no point did he show a lack of respect towards the club, of course he did. Not just the club, his teammates as well, and the fans as well. Of course that's disrespect. That is pure disrespect, bro. What do you mean? You're basically saying you're not committed to Chelsea Football Club, but you signed a 6-year deal. So what are you talking about? You're indirectly saying that you'd want to move to Real Madrid one day. Don't get me wrong. If you want to go to Real Madrid, that's not. I don't have a problem with that. You going to Real Madrid, that's not my problem, bro. Because if any other team, is getting an offer to play for the biggest team in the world, they take it in a heartbeat. I understand that, but when you're putting it out publicly, bro, you can't say that. Because fans and people will just turn on you. Then the punishment is completely unfair with key games ahead for Champions League spot. You're telling me the punishment is completely unfair? How is the punishment completely unfair when he's basically twerking for 2 clubs? He's basically said that one day I'm going to leave Chelsea Football Club and I'm going to go to Real Madrid. What are you talking about? He didn't even say this bro, he said this with 7 games left. And you know the current state of the team right now. You know we're not playing well. You know we got injuries. You know we struggle to keep bloody 11 men on the pitch. You know what the financial struggles that we're in now. The transfer, the tax loss that we've made. You see we're going through a crisis now. You see that our manager got flipping sacked. And with this geezer that's in charge, doesn't know what he's doing. We're losing games, right? He's just basically protecting Chelsea and the owners and everything like that. Because that's who he's hired by. So what do you mean? That the punishment is unfair? It's completely fair. Any manager that basically lets him play in it or anything like that, right? Or doesn't give him a punishment, I think you're a disgrace. You think you could do that with flicking Sir Alex Ferguson? You think you could do that with people like David Moyes? You think you could do that with Arsene Wenger? You've disrespected the club, bro. You've disrespected the club, you've disrespected the teammates, and you've disrespected the fans. You've got a man like Reece who loves this club. You've got a man like Caicedo who's committed to the club. So imagine you've just basically just said that one day I'd like to go to Madrid. That means you're not committed. So what does that say? Then they're going to be like, well, when are you going to leave then? And they'll be like, well, what's the point then? Why did you come to Chelsea? If you're not going to be, if you say that one day you want to go to Madrid, why are you coming to Chelsea Football Club then? Like, you need to understand, bro. It's not just, you can't just say that, bro. You can't just say that, bro. You're twerking for two teams. Honestly, bro, I'm getting annoyed just even looking through this. What's he also said? Then he puts out, Enzo wants to apologise if any fan has felt offended. Which, of course, we're going to feel flipping offended, you flipping moron. Of course we are. You've just basically said that you either want to go to Real Madrid or go back to River Plate. Of course that's an offence. That means you're not committed to the team. If you're not committed to the team, of course we're going to feel offended. We want our players to commit to this team and have a future with this team and build this team to win domestic trophies and major trophies. Of course we're going to feel flipping offended, you fool. Boys, it's just so... Oh, my gosh. What do you mean? Of course we're going to feel offended. You know, we're going to be like, oh, you know, never mind. You know, one day you want to go to Madrid and River Plate. That's all right, Enzo. That's all right, you know. You start 20... Out of the 30 games you've played, you started 29 of them. You literally start 98% of the games. You've literally been one of our main midfielders. What are you talking about, bro? And then you're saying you really want to go to Madrid or go to River Plate. What are you talking about? But he's also stressing that he has never spoken of another club or that he wants to leave Chelsea or London. Brother, you're indirectly saying that I want to live in Madrid one day. So what does that mean? How are you going to live in Madrid one day? What do you have to do to live in Madrid one day? You can't live in Madrid and then turn up for Chelsea training. Chelsea's in England, Madrid's in Spain. You fool. What do you mean? How else are you going to want to live in Madrid? You have to either play for Real Madrid or play for Atletico Madrid. So what are you talking about? You're indirectly saying that. Indirectly saying that. I can't even get my words out. I'm that annoyed. We know what you're doing, man. We know what you're saying. What do you mean? He's also stressing that he's never spoken to of another club or that he wants to leave Chelsea or London. Bro, you've literally said, I don't know if I'll be at Chelsea next season, right? Because of the situation that we're in, right? Number two, right? You've also mentioned Real Madrid and River Plate. He hasn't mentioned one club. He's mentioned two clubs, by the way. He's mentioned two clubs. So what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about, fam? So you've upset the fans, you've upset your teammates, and you've upset the club, bro. And you know what? If you want to leave, bro, yeah, and you go to Real Madrid, go Real Madrid, bro. Go Real Madrid. Honestly, bro, go to Real Madrid. Go, fam. Go to Real Madrid. Go to River Plate. Go anywhere else, bro. If you're not committed to this club, then just leave, bro. Honestly. If you're not committed to Chelsea Football Club, honestly, just leave. So apparently this happened in March. As reported in March, no agreement between Enzo Fernandez and Camp and Chelsea over new contract. But apparently the terms didn't apply to Enzo Fernandez or his agent, Javier Pastor. So I need to know what these terms were, bro. But even if a new contract wasn't settled, you can't just say what you say, bro. Like, no man's gonna do that, bro. No player's gonna do that. Even if you can't agree on terms, you're just gonna say what you're gonna say? You can't say that, bro. You're basically indicating that Real Madrid and River Plate, I cannot confirm a deal with Chelsea. So, if you lot want to come for me and, just sign me up, go for it. Chelsea decided for a 2-match sanction, the whole hierarchy together with Rocinha. And rightfully so, bro. Because even though a new contract wasn't signed or it never happened, you can't say what you just said, bro. Remain professional until your contract bloody expires. Then go to the end of the season. If you want to leave, just dip, bro. Honestly, just dip. Leave the club, bro. Leave the club. I've backed you in so many situations, bro. I've backed you when you've played well. I've backed you when you've played rubbish. I even said to you that the number 10 is your position over Cole Palmer. But then when you're coming up with stuff like this, bro, disrespecting the club, saying that you want to live in Madrid, that you want to go to River Plate, then you're apologising if you've upset the fans. Of course you've bloody upset the fans. Of course you have. We're not going to be like, oh, it's all right, Enzo. Of course we're not. Of course we're not going to say that. And now you've got this puppet saying, I've made this very clear. There is not a rift in the dressing room. We are together. Every club goes through difficult moments. So basically, there is a rift through the club. He's just basically protecting it because he's bloody Blue Coat's puppet. It's as simple as that. He's not going to say, oh, things have been happening, blah, 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 blah. Because obviously, with Chelsea and the brand and everything like that, and the owners, you don't want people to know as much information of what's going on. So he's going to say what he's going to say. Yeah, and yeah, you know what, people, that's the end of the video. I'm happy. To be honest with you, I would have given him at least probably a 7. To be honest with you, I would have just sanctioned the rest of the games for the rest of the season. To be honest with you, I'll be honest. I would have just done that, bro. Because for me, that's a disgrace. I would have just sanctioned him. I would have put him with the under 18s, and then after that, go flip him Madrid or go River Plate or whatever, and just piss off there. To be honest with you, real talk. I'm not in for his rubbish. I'm not in. I'm not here. I'm not here to like back a man who's not committed to the club. You know, if you say you're not committed, then just leave. Simple. If you're not committed to Chelsea Football Club, you're not committed to my club, just leave, bro. Honestly, just leave. You've just essentially said that your future's not with Chelsea. And if that's the case, that's the case. Just don't say if a contract doesn't go well. Don't come out with these quotes or anything like that, bro. Because you're just making the club look bad, and it just doesn't look well. It just doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good. And especially what we're going through as well, as a football club as well. And then you add that on. I think it's a joke. But it is what it is. If you man enjoys the video, leave a like. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with what Enzo says? Do you disagree with what he says? Are you still with him? Are you out? I'm out with him, to be honest with you. I don't agree with what he said. It should have been a 7-match banned sanction, in my opinion. It should have been sanctioned for the whole of the season. Play him with the freaking under 19s or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? And then just try and get a good price for him and sell his arse to Real Madrid. Get a good fee for him, or bloody River Plate or whatever, or bloody Millwall or Barcelona, wherever he wants to go to. Just get a good price off him, and then so he can just dip off. Because I don't want to deal with players like that who aren't committed to the club. If you're not committed to the club and you mention Madrid and River Plate, then just go, fam. Do you know what I'm saying? Just go. Simple as that. Like, share, comment, follow, and in a bit.